The commitment we have to our students in the College of Ed is matched by their commitment to the profession and is in line with their ambitions and their goals to be excellent classroom teachers. And not just excellent in that the students love them, but excellent in that they're effective.
Doing things hands-on is really important as a teacher. Being in a classroom and being there each day, seeing how different the kids are day to day, you never know if they're having a good day, a bad day, and their home lives really affect them.
In our education classes, we always had setups that we were sitting in groups, and we learned so much about cooperative learning, and then that's how we learned in almost all of our classes. We were doing group projects or literacy circles or all kinds of things that we had to work with our classmates and share our ideas.
Many of the faculty in the College of Education are engaged in research that takes them into schools to answer the very questions that our schools find valuable in their work. And so as our faculty engage in those research questions, we often and regularly actually include students in those pursuits. So students are also in classrooms with hands-on learning, but from a research perspective. They get to watch school systems and teachers develop questions that they need answers to so that they can better do their jobs. Our job is to make sure that what we contribute are high-quality professionals in the field of education that have a significant impact on the growth and development of children and students.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dara Hall. I'm the Executive Director of Teacher Education and Student Success in the College of Education, and I welcome you to our live chat today, and we look forward to answering your questions. I'm joined by panelists that are our faculty and students, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Mira Williams. I am an assistant professor in the Educational Foundations and Exceptionalities Department, and I'm the program coordinator for our Inclusive Early Childhood Education program.
Hi everybody, my name is Caroline Erlin and I'm a junior at James Madison University studying to teach students with special needs.
Hello, my name is Kira. I am studying to be an elementary education teacher, and I'm a senior.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Green. I'm a senior and I'm studying to teach high school history.
Hi, I'm Laura Dayport, and I am a professor in the same department as Dr. Williams in Educational Foundations and Exceptionalities, and was Caroline's professor in a course last semester and look forward to her in the fall. And I teach in the K12 special education programs and across a lot of other programs. So glad to see everybody.
Well, we look forward to you putting your questions in our comments box, and we'll look forward to answering them. We'll go ahead and get started with finding out what is the favorite aspect of being a faculty member at JMU. So we'll ask our two faculty members first. Mira, do you want to start?
Sure. I would say that my favorite part of JMU is definitely the students. I think that we get to know students here in the College of Education at a level that's really different than other universities and colleges. We get to mentor students, work with students in different organizations and clubs, and our office doors are usually always open.
And Laura, Dr. DePart?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was at a small university years ago before I came back to JMU, where I'd been before, and despite its size, JMU has always had such a closeness to it. And Caroline can tell you that the faculty are very approachable and very connected to students, and I've never really understood how we achieve it so well, but we really do.
It's wonderful. And let's hear from our students now. Let's hear, what is your favorite part of being a student at James Madison University? Caroline, do you want to get us started?
Sure, I would love to start. Honestly, one of my favorite parts about the JMU community is also the surrounding Harrisonburg community. There are so many ways that I've gotten plugged in, not only with students on campus, but great people that I've met off campus, mentor programs, and even on campus clubs and involvements have truly made JMU feel so much smaller, like Dr. DePort was saying, just a really wonderful community. And so that's been my favorite part about JMU.
And Kira, share yours as well.
I too, once I got involved in clubs and organizations, felt the JMU community was it went from so big to so small. And even the culture on JMU, like we have a thing of like opening doors. When I first came to JMU, I was like, came to JMU, I was like, why is that such a big deal? But really walking into a library and having the door held for you is just an awesome thing to see every day.
And Jordan?
For me, it really is, everybody keeps using the word community, and it's the sense of community that JMU provides both students and faculty. Most colleges just wear their college swag on game days, but at JMU, every student is wearing something JMU every day, and the same with teachers. So I think it's really just the environment that we're in, the community that we uphold, and the culture that we keep at JMU is what brings people here.
Awesome. Well, let's find out a little bit for people that are deciding to come to JMU. What classes do you take in your freshman year, and our faculty as well? What should our students expect as freshmen? Dr. Williams, do you want to share a little bit for Inclusive Early Childhood and other programs?
Sure. So typically freshman year, you are going to take a lot of your general education requirements. And then with our new four-year education programs, you also get to dive right into some of your core education classes. So those include our Foundations to Exceptionalities course, our Diversity in Education course, and our Foundations in Education course. And there's also often some type of learning experience that gets you out in the community so that you can start working with children at freshman year. So that's an awesome opportunity for everybody.
Did one of our students want to share a little bit about the freshman year classes and experience? Jordan?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to share. So as Dr. Williams said, you're going to be taking a lot of gen ed courses. And the nice thing about gen ed courses is that you can kind of choose which courses interest you within each cluster. So I encourage you to really try taking any course that you see interesting that, again, can count for your credits, but also interest you and will have you involved in the work that you're doing.
Sorry about that. Often our students are interested in, when do we get into the classroom? When does our first field experience or practicum experience begin? So I thought that maybe we could share a little bit about when did we first get in the classroom and what was that experience like? Let's start with the student perspective on that. Do you want to share, Kara?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I went and volunteered in an elementary school classroom, actually. There's so many elementary schools around Harrisonburg and surrounding Harrisonburg that it's really easy to be able to go into the classroom. So I was in a first aid classroom, just volunteering, helping out with the teacher and kids, and absolutely loved it. And my first practicum experience was my junior year, and I was in an elementary school about 20 minutes away. But for the incoming freshmen, you will have your practicum experience a little bit earlier. So, yeah.
Do we want to share a little bit from some of the other programs as well? Caroline?
Sure, I would love to share. So again, I'm studying to teach students with special needs. So I would say that the first time I got in a classroom was freshman year. We had opportunities to go into the Harrisonburg and surrounding community to do read alouds with students. A lot of it counted for service hours, but again, you were really integrating into the surrounding Harrisonburg community and getting to work with students as early as freshman year for me, and then continued doing volunteer hours sophomore year, working in special education classrooms. And then I just had my first observational practicum this junior year, in which I got to work in a high school and an elementary school.
Awesome. And I'm going to ask Dr. Williams to share a little bit from her perspective as a faculty member as well. And in the meanwhile, viewers, please go ahead and leave your questions in the comments below the video, and we'll make sure to cover those as well. So Dr. Williams?
Sure. So you definitely will get a lot of different practicum hands-on experiences. It's something that we really value as a teacher education program. For the ICE program, so the Inclusive Early Childhood, you actually have a practicum placement every single semester, starting in your sophomore year as part of one of your courses. And then your coursework is embedded within that practicum. So for example, if you're taking one of the initial child development courses, you would be doing a observational case study with students in that practicum that you're placed in that semester. And we have all of the courses within that program align to match with those practicum placements.
Awesome. Dr. DePort, did you have anything else to add from a faculty perspective?
Just to focus again on what everybody else is saying, and a point that Caroline made is we are incredibly rich in our geographic area with amazing diversity in classrooms. I supervise a practicum in assessment and reading intervention in the highest needs school, elementary school in Harrisonburg City, and the demographics in Harrisonburg will prepare any teacher for any classroom that they will ever encounter. The degree of demographic variability and language diversity, it's the richest clinical setting that you could ever imagine.
That's awesome. Let's talk about the fact that field experience is a wide variety of opportunities that happen for our students. So I just want to make sure that all of our viewers understand that you will have opportunities to observe and get in for practical experience. There are going to be community service learning opportunities as well that you'll get in. There are a lot, we talked about organizations, but there's opportunities to work with children in classrooms for lots of things. So I'm going to talk about some of these other types of experiences. And then of course, the culminating experience is student teaching, and that can happen pretty much anywhere in Virginia. So let's talk about some of these other experiences. And then I see that we have a question, so we'll hit that in 1 second. But does anyone want to share some of those opportunities that they get to work with children in their organizations? Caroline?
Sure. So one of my absolute favorite parts about being a JMU student and experiences I've had so far is Harrisonburg has this program called Big Brother, Big Sisters of Rockingham and Harrisonburg. And basically what it means is that you get paired with an elementary student who lives in adversity. And so every single week I got to meet my little sister and spend her lunch and recess time with her. And this is something that I've been doing since my sophomore year. And it's just an incredible opportunity to, again, become engaged with the community, to work with a younger student, to act as a mentor. And you can also bring them to JMU football games. And so it's just been a really wonderful engagement and also gotten me in the classroom more.
Wonderful. And we have a question from Sky on YouTube. And the question is, if you aren't 100% sure whether you want to teach at a certain level, either elementary or secondary, how long do you have to decide on when you need to make that decision? So how long do you have? And so I think that question has a lot to do with advising. And so let's hear from our faculty a little bit on that. Dr. DePort, do you want to share a little bit about how students make decisions about what level of teaching?
Sure. Well, one thing I could say is that we have some K-12 endorsements. And so you might want to think about, we have a kindergarten through 12th grade special education endorsement. We have kindergarten through 12th grade music ed, art ed, teaching English to speakers of other languages. So if you're not sure if you like that whole array, and that's certainly, I like from, womb to tomb myself, I would say, think about, do you really want to converge in on that? And if so, I would say by the end of your sophomore year, and Dr. Williams, you could chime in on that, but I'd say if you're sure you want, say, middle ed or secondary ed or L-ed, that you really need to make sure of that commitment by the end of no later than the sophomore year, and better earlier.
Awesome. Dr. Williams?
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely earlier is better, just because, especially if you're considering between secondary or elementary or the inclusive program, just because secondary requires some additional courses and requirements with minors. But I would say expose yourself to different opportunities, right? So we have lots of different organizations, as we've mentioned, that have volunteer experiences attached. And I would say get out into the field as quickly as you can, do some volunteer work in both elementary and secondary levels and try to get a feel for really what you think you might want to do. The other thing to remember is that once you get your teaching license and you get out and you get started in the field, it's not like it's set in stone forever, right? So if you decide later on in your life after you graduate from JMU, you can come back to JMU and get another degree, and you can change your licensures. So lots of different opportunities are definitely available.
Absolutely. And we do have students that make changes over time. And so we have excellent advisors that are going to help you make the decision that's right for you. We have some additional questions. Avery asked, what are some of the different things that we do in the classroom with students? We were talking about our practicum experiences earlier. And so, Jordan, do you want to share about your opportunities in the classroom and what types of things you've done so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm secondary education, and kind of going back to what Dr. Williams was saying, for secondary education, you're licensed to teach 6 through 12. So you actually get practicum experiences in middle schools and high schools. So you can kind of make that distinction of which you like better, what you want to do. And within the classroom, some of your early practicums tend to be, just helping out around the classroom, classroom control, seeing how the classroom runs. And then you get into your junior and senior practicums like Caroline was talking about, where you're actually given a lot more responsibility in terms of helping students one-on-one, helping students in a group section. And then I actually had my senior practicum last semester, where my teacher felt comfortable enough with me teaching a lot of the classes that she had planned to teach, as well as I made my own lesson plans. And then I'm looking forward to my grad year where I get to even run a classroom myself. So those are some of the experiences I've had in the classroom.
Wonderful. Do you want to share any additional experiences you've had in the classroom? Caroline, Kira? All right.
Sure, I can speak to that really quickly. So as somebody studying to teach students with special needs, as I was mentioning earlier, I've done a lot of read alouds in classrooms. And so that involves creating lesson plans and then implementing those into classrooms. And with your observational practicums, this past semester, my teacher was very similar to one of Jordan's. She just threw me in and she was very supportive, but I got to work with 2 students with special needs all semester. And it was really cool getting to know those students. Additionally, I've had opportunities to just read on a carpet with students who are English language learners. And so, like Dr. DePort was saying, it's truly such a diverse community in Harrisonburg. And so there's plenty of opportunities for experiences I've had in the classroom.
Okay, so we've had some other questions that I want to make sure that we get the answers to. So one question is about you students, because all 3 of our students here are Teach Ambassadors, and they asked the question about what do you do as a Teach Ambassador? So Jordan, you want to share?
Yeah, I guess I can take that one. So as a Teach Ambassador, we have the awesome responsibility of representing the College of Education when it comes to prospective students and admitted students like yourselves who are watching our live stream. We try to help you guys understand what the College of Education is all about, all of its benefits, and we try to bring you guys into JMU because we love it so much and we have this opportunity to try to persuade and convince people why it's so awesome. And so Teach Ambassadors do that through our different events like open houses and choices and virtual choices now. And we really love what we do.
And we had a great question just recently about study abroad. So we actually have a professor right now that does study abroad, and we've had a student who's done study abroad. So let's start with Dr. DePort, if you can share a little bit about your study abroad experience.
Sure, and I want to be sure we get to Jordan because his perspective is going to be more important. I have led we have a study abroad experience. We have them all over the world. I encourage you to go to Global Engagement and look at what we do. But I've led the study abroad in Salamanca, Spain. And as a matter of fact, I am here joining you right now from Spain, from Granada. We value very much as a university, but also as a college, that experience. And so Dr. Williams could tell you too, we'll bend over backwards to make sure that we can accommodate those experiences because we know how valuable they are. And I'd certainly, if somebody wants to email me outside of this, I'm easy to find online, and I can tell you more specifically about that, but I'd love for Jordan to chime in.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, so I actually did a study abroad not through the College of Education. I did a history program study abroad called the North of England program, where I studied for a month in the summer going into my sophomore year. And there's just something super cool about, learning the history of the Roman walls of the city of Chester or York while you're standing on top of them. So it's really awesome. Highly encourage anybody to study abroad, whether it's an education program. I've had friends who have done Dr. Deport's Salamanca program, and they loved it. I've had friends do other study abroad programs, general education study abroad programs. All of them are fantastic. I encourage you guys to really look into that. It really is a changing experience.
So we have some questions right now about what does our programs look like, because they heard Dr. Williams talk about our new four-year program, and they heard Jordan talk about his graduate experience. So the question is a little bit about what does it look like right now in terms of our graduate education? So our programs, we have majors in many of our content areas. Now in elementary education, middle education, secondary education, special education, as well as inclusive early childhood education, and teaching English to speakers of other languages. We do offer for our secondary education either a double major in secondary education and their content area, or they can major in their content area and stay for a fifth year for a graduate program. We do have graduate programs, though, for any student that graduates with a bachelor's degree and is ready to teach. If they want to continue on for 1 year, we do have a teacher leadership program for a 1-year master's degree as well. So do we have any of our faculty? Dr. Williams, did you want to talk a little bit about the program? Do you have?
Sure, I can. So yeah, we, like the question says, we have switched, right, from a 5-year to a 4-year program, which is really exciting for us because you now get to major in education at JMU, which you didn't get to do before. So you get to start into your education classes earlier, but then you also are not missing out on the opportunity to get a master's degree. So I also run the post-bac early childhood special education program. So say you did elementary education and you wanted to stay and get a master's in early childhood special education, that's an opportunity. Some of the others that Dara mentioned are also opportunities. And then we're also in the process of creating some new master's programs. So definitely opportunities to still stay and get a master's, but also opportunities to finish, get your teaching license in 4 years, and to actually major in education.
Great. So there were some questions as well about teacher licensure. So when you come to JMU, you are getting licensed for a Virginia approved teaching program. And then we have reciprocity in states across the United States and territories. And so you have the opportunity to teach out of state. I'm the person that'll sign off on your teaching license, so you're welcome to contact me with questions specific to your state. We also have information on our website if you're interested in out-of-state licensure. Jordan, I think you're going to be licensed out of state, is that right?
I still haven't decided, but I am from the great state of New Jersey, so it is something that I'm certainly considering. But yeah, Dara is the person you need to talk to and the person who knows all.
We have some questions about, looks like Kaylee is asking, so if you're looking to do secondary education, how soon do you have to decide on the subject you want to teach? Is it possible to major in one subject and have an additional minor in another subject? So that goes a long way as to whether you decide to do the 4-year program or the 5-year programs in terms of additional minors. But most people that go into secondary education, unlike what Dr. DePort was talking about K12 opportunities, because we do have K12 programs in special education, we have P12 programs in art, music, theater, dance, but education works very much in terms of, am I interested in working with early childhood? And then maybe I'd consider the inclusive early childhood program. Or do I like the elementary grades? Or am I interested in teaching at a middle school or a high school? Or am I interested in teaching students with special needs? Or am I art? Or am I music? So a lot of it goes along with what do I like. So as a secondary ed teacher, it really is content based. Do I like to teach, or do I want to teach English or social studies or mathematics or one of the sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, or earth science? So the endorsement is in the content area. You can decide after a year or so, because you'll have that opportunity to take gen ed classes. Any additional information? Jordan, I know you're secondary ed, or Dr. DePort, Dr. Williams, do you have some?
Yeah, I'm secondary ed, and I'm studying history. And again, like Dara said, if you decide to do the double major program where you major in history and secondary education, that will fill a lot of your course space. I did the history major with the 5-year program, and I actually had enough space to add a business minor to my studies as well. So you do have room to add a minor if you make room. If you study hard, work hard, like any college student has to. There is a way to do it if you try your best. So yeah, I encourage you to look into whatever subject you're interested in. Use those gen eds, like I said, to take classes that interest you, and it'll hopefully help you get some clarity.
Okay, so we have a great question about if I'm doing elementary, but I want to incorporate special education, how would I do that? So I'll let you, Dr. Williams, share a little bit about her program, which actually incorporates both.
Yeah, so the Inclusive Early Childhood Education Program is our only dual endorsement program in the College of Education. And if you're interested in early childhood special education, so you'll get a licensure endorsement in early childhood special education birth through age 5. And then you also get an elementary education endorsement in pre-K through 3rd grade. So as long as you aren't set on teaching 4th, 5th, or 6th grade in elementary, then you'll have that dual licensure so that you can do both special education and general education or teach in inclusive classrooms. Also opens doors to what we call early intervention. And I'm happy anybody that's interested in that program, you can reach out to me and I can talk to you about more details.
Do you want to talk about being an elementary ed student, Kira, and what that program is like for this person that's interested?
Yeah, so I love the elementary education program. One of the things I like is the class sizes and how close you get with the students that are in your class with you. It really becomes, again, with this word community, we all talk with each other and help each other out. If we're confused about an assignment, we're all there to help each other as well with the professors. If you email them, they usually respond so fast and is really there to help you if you're confused on a lesson or what to do. So I really love the elementary education program here at JMU. It really became a home to me.
And Caroline, do you want to share a little bit about being a student in the special education program?
Yes, absolutely. Going off of what Kira was just saying, oh my goodness, my cohort has become my family. So my cohort is the students that are also studying to teach students with special needs that are also juniors. And so there's 24 of us. This is the first semester that we have all 5 classes together, all of the same professors. And seriously, it has made JMU feel like my home. These people are wonderful. They're great classmates. The professors are just as involved in our cohort and our learning as we are. And it's been such a wonderful experience getting to know people from other states and other disciplines and professors. And so I really love the special education program at James Madison University. And it's given me so many opportunities in other classrooms and to learn, and 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Thank you. So Sophia's asking a little bit about the size of our programs. So we say that we have almost 1 out of 10 students at JMU that are involved in education programs. We tend to have active students at any given time, about 1,700 or more than 1,700 active students that are involved in our teacher education programs. So you don't have to look far to find somebody that's involved in a teacher education program. When, especially as a freshman, you find lots of people that are going to be there. And then you do get involved in cohorts where you get to meet a lot of people. So there was a question as well about class sizes. So let's share a little bit about the class sizes, which tend to be smaller ratios, but we'll talk about that from the student perspective, and then maybe about the importance of class size from our faculty as well. So who wants to start first talking a little bit about their program?
I'll start. So for secondary education, I personally have never had a class bigger than about 15 to 16 students, which I think is a really great size. It encourages cooperation within the students, and as well as most of the classes I've taken usually has like a big ending project, which you get multiple one-on-one meetings with your education professor as well, to kind of help guide you along, and they check in, see where you are. So in that regard, I think the College of Education's teacher to student ratio is fantastic and really makes you feel like you're cared about and they want you to succeed.
Caroline, what about in your classes? Similar?
Sure, yes. So like I just mentioned, my cohort is 24 students. So none of my classes have been more than 24 students. And like Jordan was saying, the professors are also super available to help you in your learning. And it's a very collaborative setup. And so I found it really helpful to have that one-on-one time with a professor.
And similar in elementary as well, right, Kira?
Yeah, so I think the class size is around 25 students. And we do a lot of group work in the classes, so that makes it really easy to group up with students and collaborate on work.
Dr. Williams, can you talk a little bit about the purpose of a cohort model and why we work that direction?
Yeah, sure. So we love our cohort models. And I think Kira actually mentioned this earlier, but it makes JMU feel a little bit smaller. So I know what happens basically in the ICE program is that starting now in your sophomore year, you're going to be taking your education courses with the same people. And this allows you to get to know your future colleagues and your peers just at a better level, and also learn how to collaborate, because we know that in education, collaboration is a huge component, right? So as the students described, we do a lot of hands-on learning. We have 3-hour, 2-hour, 45-minute classes, but I don't think you will ever, I hope anyways, hear a professor just talk to you for that long, right? Because we are constantly doing group work, doing projects, having students teach, doing modeling of lessons. And when you get to do that with the same cohort each semester, you can really build those relationships, and it just becomes a stronger program overall.
Awesome. And I'm going to ask Dr. DePort to talk a little bit about how we have this great minor in exceptional education and special education, and how that can work for endorsement areas, and then also share a little bit about transfer students while we have you.
Sure. Yeah, I'm the coordinator for our minor in exceptional education. And it's the largest minor in the whole college, because students go out there and they see that they are going to be working with learners with very, very diverse needs. And so we have second language acquisition, we have characteristics of atypical learners, all kinds of classes that will give you experience with that then will translate. Someone was asking about additional endorsements, like what if you want to add on something? This is an easy way to ultimately add on that special education endorsement, because you'll have all of the foundation classes of that, and many of our first year and early career teachers end up getting a provisional endorsement in special education and teaching in special education, or co-teaching with special education professionals. The other question was about transfer students, and we have We get a lot of students from the Virginia Community College system, and we have an advocate and an organization, a grassroots organization within the college to help support those students. But we also get a lot of out-of-state transfers too. And with the student organization that's overseen by our colleague, Dr. Ruthie Bosch, they get a lot of individualized support and a lot of peer support to be able to navigate the acculturation into the college.
Yes, we do our best to have our transfer students come in and feel involved and ready to work with us in the college, because you've already gotten your 2 years in. So we love our transfer students. I want Dr. Williams to talk a little bit about our final question for today, which is, what makes students from JMU's education program stand out as teachers that schools want to hire?
So this is huge, because you guys, when you finish JMU, you are definitely going to be hired. I get emails on a regular basis asking for students, basically begging for students. I've also been chased down at conferences. If they see my name tag and they see the JMU on it, they say, wait, we need your students. We want your students. I've had principals write me letters after students have been out in the field saying that they've never had a better prepared teacher. So I think, JMU definitely stands out in really, I think, the nation for teacher education programs.
I think we can all agree. And one of the things we're very proud of is that principals want to hire our students. Absolutely. And we hope you'll come here. We really thank you so much for joining us today. If we weren't able to get to your questions during this panel, please leave your questions under the comments section, and we're going to make sure to respond to those questions. You can also visit the Choices website for more information. The link will be posted below, and we just welcome you to JMU, and we hope to see you very soon. So thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.